Wow. Well, welcome everybody to the Halo Reach panel. We just want to first of all thank everyone. This is pretty amazing here. This is probably the biggest thing like this we've ever been a part of, and we wouldn't be here talking about our final Halo game and a great 10-year run if it weren't for everyone in this room. So please, thank you very much. Thank you. So we have a couple different things that we're excited to talk about today. First, before we dive in though, let me introduce our panels. My name's Brian, I'm the Community Director at Bungie. You might know me online as Sketch. I've also got here Chad Armstrong, one of our multiplayer designers, also known online as Shishka. David Allen's one of our multiplayer producers. I'm not sure what he's known as online.
It's a secret.
It's a secret. And finally, we have Lars Bakken, one of our multiplayer design leads, also known as that insane beta guy. So, Halo Reach. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but it's a cool game. Last week, we actually released a video in partnership, I guess 2 weeks ago, sorry, at this rate, with our friends from Rooster Teeth for Bungie Day. I don't know who had a chance to see that, but that turned out pretty good. Apparently, it got a lot of people excited, and apparently there's some interest in going beyond the canyon. So if you guys want to do that today, I think that's one of the things that we're going to get to. But before we do that, we first wanted to talk a little bit about Firefight. And if you played, yes, wow. What an easy crowd. Just, it's awesome. So last year, ODST introduced this new way to play Halo. It was Firefight. It was our 4-player cooperative game mode. It was you and your friends kind of shoulder to shoulder, just going nuts against wave after wave of incoming Covenant. And the idea was just to have a lot of fun and try and score a lot of points. So great news is we've brought Firefight back for Reach, but even better, Lars and the team have had time to really bring it up to a new level and make it a bona fide part of the Reach offering. So you might have already heard a little bit about Firefight. Before we talk about a new thing today, let me just give you a couple of the high points of what's cool and new. First of all, apparently not everybody always had a bunch of friends online, and it turned out that earning the Endure achievement by yourself was pretty hard and not too fun. So the great news is in Reach, you'll have full matchmaking support from day one. So you'll be able to go on Xbox Live, join a Firefight playlist, and we'll match you up with 3 people, and you'll even be able to take advantage of our new social settings, and hopefully that'll help you even find people that you would enjoy playing with, and might even become friends and and have a little battle bromance afterwards. So great news is Firefight will be awesome. We have improved netcode and a lot of systems to make sure that the online experience is even better than before. So that's a really big win for us. But even more exciting, I think, is rather than do what we did in ODST and sort of give you that one straight experience where you're going to have sort of the same mix of enemies and skulls throughout each wave, we're actually going to let the players get their hands dirty and be an armchair designer and sort of craft your own experience. So I'd like to have Lars come up here. He's just going to give you just a quick overview of exactly how much customization you'll be able to do in Firefight, and then I think he has a new surprise to show us here today as well. Lars Bakken.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Thanks for coming out once again. So we're going to go over some things that are new to Firefight. Pay no attention to that game type for just a second. We talked about matchmaking support, customization, and all that at E3. But a lot of you have probably not actually seen how deep the customization goes. First of all, I'll show you the built-in game types we're going to ship with, and I should point out that every single game type that you see built in that's going to ship with Reach was made using the in-game options, so there's no fancy behind-the-scenes things. These are things you guys are going to be able to create, and you're going to be able to create even crazier things as well. So we've got generator defense, which actually adds hardpoint things to defend while you're fighting off the AI. Gruntpocalypse, which we're talking about for the first time at Comic-Con. As you can see from the description, it's all grunts all the time, aim for the face, good times. Rocket Fight, which we showed at E3, which is, hey, mix unlimited rocket launchers with firefight loadout and armor abilities, and you've got an awesome combination. So real quick, I'll go into the game options. So it gets pretty nuts when we start to dive down. At the main level, you've got wave properties, which on each individual round and each individual wave, you can say what skulls you want on. And then you can even go deeper and say, hey, I want to use dropships or I don't want to use dropships. What kinds of squads you want to make up every single wave. So you can see you have around 30 different types. There's all sorts of crazy stuff in here. If you want to make an entire wave of hunters, you can do that. It's just as easy as setting it that way. And then you can set your bonus wave as well. By default, it's going to be set to elites for this particular game type, but normally it's grunts, which is awesome. And then you've got everything else. We actually allow you to end the mode prematurely as well, so you don't. Firefight isn't necessarily unlimited anymore like it was in ODST unless you want it to be. So now we let you say, I only want to play one round, or I only want to play for 5 minutes, 6 minutes, whatever you want to do, it's completely customizable. And then if that wasn't enough, we have complete customization for the Spartans, how many lives you start with, base traits, which is everything you remember from Halo 3 player traits, but even more in depth. So we've got infinite equipment usage, which it's pretty crazy. And then loadouts are completely customizable as well. So you can name them, you can set what the starting and primary and secondary weapons are, the armor abilities. Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. So without further ado, we're going to talk about something new that we haven't shown before. And Shishka, why don't you join my game? We're also going to show a new map for the first time. This is from a little bit into the campaign, so all the firefight maps are taken from campaign. So yes, it says versus. Now, Firefight's always been a cooperative experience, and we want to continue it to be a cooperative experience. But now, in Reach, when we were sitting back and thinking, what can we do even more than we did in ODST and on top of the customization options? And we thought, you know what? What if you get to play from the Covenant perspective? So, like everything in Firefight, it's a simple option. It's a simple change in the lobby. If I go blue team, the way this works is we actually have both teams play from each perspective. So I'm going to do a really quick game here of versus with Shishka. So if you start on blue team, you're going to start as the elites. Red team starts as Spartans. Can we bring up this?
Firefight.
So I'm spawning in as an elite.
Tough luck.
So if you look in the lower left-hand corner, you'll see I have a new armor ability, Hologram. So you'll see my guys are actually getting dropped off right now. Now we're gonna go after Shishka. Where are you at, Shishka?
Anywhere, somewhere.
I'm gonna show you guys something cool.
1 minute remaining.
Come on. So we do have unique assassinations for the sword now. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. So you notice in the lower left-hand corner, you see that little Spartan helmet? That's actually showing me how many lives Shishka has left.
30 seconds remaining.
So we're playing a really compressed version of the game right now. Normally you'll have 5-minute rounds, but we did 2 minutes just for the sake of the show. So the way Versus works at its core, you only score points on the Spartan team. So you see Shishka taking out some jackals. So the round just ended. The cool thing that happens now. Damn it, Shishka. So we switch over now, and I am a Spartan now. So we do the same thing. I have the same amount of time. I get to fight against Shishka, and we're going to reveal one more new thing. It's a brand new vehicle you guys have never seen before. I'll just run over here real quick. The forklift. Hold on. Quiet. All right, and that's what's new in Firefight and Reach. So Versus mode is going to be playable on the show floor starting, I guess, tomorrow. So you guys, if you've played Firefight already, you should come back. We're going to have Courtyard on display. We're going to have Versus mode on display. It'll be 2v2. It's going to be awesome. What? Oh yeah, I'm going to show you guys something really cool now. The PGCR in Reach. So you saw some of this in the beta, but we really went above and beyond this time, showing you every individual enemy that you've killed, and then when you go in, we're actually going to show you all your medals, your biggest kill, kind of like some of the stuff from ODST, but basically times 5, so it's pretty crazy. So I think at this point, what I'm going to do is switch over to Shishka. And Brian's going to do a little introduction. Thank you.
We're only 9 minutes in. 6:09. Yeah, so just like Lars said, starting tomorrow all the way through Sunday over at the Xbox booth, we'll have Versus Firefight playable, so definitely come by and check that out. So now, next thing we're going to do is switch over, talk about a different aspect of the game. Kind of a similar theme, though. One of the big things that kind of runs through all of Reach, and really Halo in general, is this idea of empowering the player with the ability to kind of start to create and customize the game experience, and then to be able to share that with the community. And of course, with Halo 3, we introduced Forge, and that was something that, initially really was kind of designed as a way to be able to primarily focus on things like spawn points and weapons, and be able to sort of be able to go in and sort of adjust those aspects of the map. But then with the release of Foundry, we kind of just broke it wide open and started including these building blocks that let you build actual structures and geometry and really start to craft a map. And then, of course, Sandbox got released, and all sorts of amazing things have been built by the community. So today we do want to talk a little bit about Forge. It's back, as you would expect. It is better and bigger, and there's lots of new stuff in it. So Chad, being one of the designers who has probably spent the most time in Reach's Forge of anybody at the studio, is going to give you a tour of Forge 2.0 and I think take us beyond the canyon today. We're way fine on time, bro. All right, sure. Hi. You like that? All right, Brian mentioned this a bit earlier, but a couple weeks ago, our friends at Red vs. Blue released a video on Bungie Day. They announced the return of an old friend, Blood Gulch. Now we call it Hemorrhage. And so I'm going to do a couple things at once, actually. I'm going to show you guys the latest iteration of Blood Gulch, and at the same time, I'm also going to take a look at Forge. And David Allen here is going to assist. Welcome back. All right, so immediately, I'm in Forge right now. As you can see, I'm in monitor mode, just like in Halo 3. Through monitor mode, I am able to edit and manipulate objects that were placed in Forge. In this case, that's actually most of the map. To demonstrate, well, here is the initial spawns for the blue team. You can tell because they're little Spartans. And we actually color them for teams. So if I actually wanted this guy to be red, or green, or orange, or purple, you get the idea. Just how forgeable is the map? Well, pretty forgeable. You'll see you'll notice that these guys, this is definitely blue base, but as with the spawns, I can go in and I can change the color, and now it's green base. So, then you'll notice a couple new Forge items around the map. For example, this guy right here. As soon as I go over him, you see that large green field? A lot of people are going to be wondering, in a situation like this map where you might not want somebody to go up onto the cliffs or wander around, how do you keep people from wandering off? These objects, they're called safe volumes, and they have a brother called the kill volume. And what these do is, as long as you're inside them, you're alive. As soon as you step out, you'll see the return to battlefield warning, and you have 10 seconds left to return, or the game kills you. Now, go ahead and bring the Falcon in, and I'll take everyone for a little flight through Hemorrhage. Go ahead and sit on the gun. All right. Unnecessary and awesome. All right. So just to further reemphasize how forgeable this map is, David Allen, if you would so kindly, just delete that guy. There you go. All right, I'm gonna ditch him for a little bit. Now, as you can see, this is Blood Gulch in all of its glory. It's actually the bases are designed after Blood Gulch from Halo 1. The geometry was taken straight from Halo 2 and then up-res, so the terrain's a lot nicer, but it's based on coagulation. And all right, so. I think I've talked enough about Blood Gulch. Should we finally go beyond the canyon? So what is beyond the canyon? The majority of the map. So now that the ruse is up, Blood Gulch, or Hemorrhage rather, is a map variant of a much larger map that we call Forge World. Forge World is a series of unique spaces, some of which based on previous maps, some of them brand new to Halo, that we designed specifically for users to work within Forge. Right in front of me, you are seeing what we call the island. I assume you can tell why. The island is a rather large, great for like 16-player games style map. It's kind of bent so you can play like Sidewinder style map setups. You see David Allen down there driving around. Just for a sense of scale, how far away I am from the actual island there. That's a warthog. It's worth pointing out that we've built a ton of objects for Forge World. Forge World actually has, you saw the bases are all Forge pieces in Blood Gulch. There's actually about 150 pieces built specifically for this map, specifically for building objects and building bases, building whatever the way the way you'd like to. Let's go over a couple more of the spaces here. This is the rock. Again, we're very creative with the names, the rock, the canyon, the island, Forge World. up here, this is a nice symmetrical space that has, one open side. So you can build nice symmetrical maps with one, like an open side and a closed side. Oh, I guess you guys want to see down here. Hey. This is the Coliseum. The space, roughly the same size as the crypt from Sandbox, if you're familiar. A little larger, actually, and we've provided pieces that are perfect for building specifically in here for sectioning off pieces of the map. We've actually built our own Griffball variant that we've play-tested a bunch in here. All right. Since this is kind of the perfect lab for playing around in Forge, figure I'll show you a couple things. So this is the object placement UI. You'll notice it's different from Halo 3. We've kind of broken everything out into more bits. Most of this should be completely familiar. Weapons, spawning objects, objective placement stuff. What is new and is unique to Forge World is this section called structure. And when I go into here, thank you, David, we see you. One second. Hold on. Come here. All right. I feel better, thank you. All right. So let's go to structure now. You see an entirely new section of objects specifically built for this map. And these pieces, as you can tell, we have a huge library of pieces that we can go through. And some of them are very simple. Now, as I'm placing this object, you'll notice that instead of the object moving when I move, I actually orbit around the object as long as I hold on to it. The like 24 people in this room just wet themselves. The reason we did this is, we've been watching you guys, and we've seen what you guys have been doing in Forge, and we're extremely impressed, especially because half of the stuff you do is agonizing to actually do in Halo 3 Forge. So our goal is to fly Falcons into the Coliseum. And also, from the beginning, we were... From the beginning, our goal has been to make Forge easier to use. So, for example, I let go of a piece, it stays put. Now, that's only the beginning. The reason that object stayed put is because we actually have multiple physics models that you can apply to an object. So for example, there's normal, which if I drop it now, behaves correctly. What you saw earlier was fixed, which meant once you let go of it, it stays exactly how you let go of it. And the most exciting one, I think, is called phased physics. And what phased physics allows us to do is actually interpenetrate any object through any object or world geometry. Like so. Did I hear an ask for nudge? You mean like if I grab the object and I hold down on the left stick and I start moving really slow? Or maybe you want even more specific and you want coordinate editing. No, we love you. You see, there's also some other features in here. You're able to set a snap on your rotation. So if you're working within, say, you want to work 30-degree increments, you just start rotating, and it'll move in 30 degrees at a time. And then if you're like, you don't really like the way you position that, let's just start all over. And then you think, this piece actually kind of sucks. Let's just get rid of all the blocks. Gone. I hated that block. So that goes over, just some of the different things you can do with an object. I'm showing you some really simple objects here, just really nice blocks, but they actually get a lot more complex from things like this bridge,
to, oh, you're not supposed to be wooing yet, to actually much larger objects, this one ought to seem fairly familiar to people. Of course, blocks aren't the only thing you're able to place. You saw earlier I was placing a kill ball. David Allen is about to show you guys the power of what we call the vehicle man cannon, excuse me. You're gonna drop a mongoose or something for them there?
And I'm going to completely miss.
Oh yeah, you're gonna completely miss and we'll all laugh at you. There it goes. Yes! Oh, he jumped out. Coward. And then, of course, a lot of the things that you were able to place, you were able to place in the previous iteration of Forge, such as teleporters. Go down to teleporters. Did you just, oh, God. We're going to place a teleporter here, and you'll notice the teleporter looks a little different. One of the interesting things about this teleporter is this cylinder you're seeing here, you only see while you're working on it in Forge, and it's actually the boundary of the teleporter. So I can make the teleporter be larger. But wait, there's more. You can also decide what gets to teleport through it. For example, players, land vehicles, heavy vehicles, flying vehicles. David Allen, if you would kindly get in your mongoose again.
It's going to take me a second.
It's going to take him a second. All right. So I'll just put this down for a bit.
Wait a minute.
What? All right. So you got teleporters. Those are fun. Of course, we had to bring back the special effects for the people that like to do the pretty awesome screenshots. I mean, you know, the old ones like colorblind makes everything nice and grayscale. And then we've got, you know, some fancy next-gen stuff. There you go. Old-timey, now it looks like an old film. All right, here comes David Allen. Oh, wait, stop. Forgot to set the teleporter. There you go. That's going to end great. He'll be fine. Oh! Oh yeah, all sorts of fun things. You know, make it look like it's at nighttime. Just, all right, so that's a pretty good sampling of some of the different gadgets you're able to play with. That's an example of a bridge being put in my face. You're not gonna do what I think you're gonna do, are you? I'm gonna dodge that. All right. All right, let's see, is there... Oh yes, of course, another thing that's coming back from Sandbox is the colored lights that you were able to place for landmarking. We added several more. And some of them do cool things like pulse gently. Toys. So they want to look at toys. So of course the golf ball and the golf club are back. Most important thing we've ever done ever. What? What are you pointing at? Oh God. All right, so we've had a pretty good look at Forge World itself. Let's take a look at some of the things that we've done with Forge World. It's been very important for us from the very beginning to make sure that Forge is awesome to use. We'll be right back. Simmer down. What day when chess was April Fool's, my friend? But again, it was very important for us from day one to make sure that Forge is awesome to use. We saw the things that people were doing, and I don't just mean the maps. I mean the art and all the crazy things that you guys have come up with. And we wanted to make sure that that was as painless as possible. And to that end, we made sure that designers, myself, for example, and Chris Carney, one of our multiplayer design leads who's back at the ranch, actually built maps for the disc. What's that? Okay. So we're going to show you another map from the Forge World list called The Cage. And this is a map that Carney built originally completely inside Forge. And it's going to be on the disc and matchmaking when you pick up your copy. That's great. It's a loading screen. That's awesome. All right. So the Cage is reminiscent of maps such as Lockout or Guardian, actually made by the guy that I believe made Lockout and Guardian. He's not a one-trick pony, I promise. It's an asymmetrical map built onto the cliffside, which isn't actually one of the spaces that we had planned for building on Forge. This was actually just a demonstration that just because we've built these unique spaces doesn't mean you actually have to use them. You can build pretty much wherever. And what Carney did here is he built this nice asymmetrical map, and he added, here's the kill volumes I mentioned earlier. So if you fall far enough into this volume, you'll die, similar to like falling in Lockout, for example, or Blackout. There's Hologram. He thought I was going to fall for it. Is this just the theme today? Is that I get my butt kicked all day today? All right. So what you saw there was that he used hologram, but if you haven't noticed just yet, I don't have an armor ability attached. The way he did that was that he was actually able to place his own. In custom games, you are actually able to define whether or not a user can have armor abilities at the start or if they don't, and then you can build a map in Forge where they actually have to pick them up like power items, like an overshield or active camo. I drop that there, then I go and I pick it up, and now I can sprint. And I think that's about all we got to show for you guys. Thanks.
Show the bite out.
Yep.
Oh, that's right. Tell David to back up. All right, thank you. I kind of feel sorry for anyone that's just walking in. It's like, when did Halo turn into Legos? I don't even know what's going on. But obviously the team's put a ton of work into this, and we really can't wait to see what all of you do as soon as we put this tool in your hand in September. I did... Say what? I don't think we have a unicorn in here. Sorry. All right, we'll do Q&A at the end. Just to kind of wrap up, I know we had a lot of stuff, and we actually have a lot of people that worked on Forge World that obviously couldn't be here today. So really quickly, I thought we'd just switch over. I wanted to show you, we have a new Vidoc that we prepared that's actually going to get released tonight at 7 o'clock. So we thought we'd give you guys the first glimpse of it. You've already seen Forge World before anybody else in the world, so we wanted to just give you a quick view of this Vidoc, and then we have one more really sweet thing to show you. So let me just see if I can remember how to navigate this here. Video library, yes. And I don't know if we mentioned this specifically, but obviously all your maps that you build in Forge, you'll be able to save, name, tag either on Bungie.net or directly in the game itself. So not only is it easier to build stuff better than you could before, but it's going to be way easier to share and find that stuff as well. So that means that Shishka and the team will be able to find your awesome maps, get them into matchmaking, and who knows, maybe you could be famous and everybody could be playing your version of the map that you built on the rock face. So. Oh yes, the question was, can you have more than 100? Actually, yes, you can. I believe the final limit is you can have up to 1,000 of every item type. So 1,000 game types, 1,000 maps, 1,000 screenshots. And I should also just mention too, just like Halo 3, you'll still be able to fully customize your own game types as well. So mixing that with Forge is kind of where things really start to get crazy. And just like you can add armor abilities like Shishka showed, you also have the ability to do cool things like turn on unlimited armor ability energy, for example, which allows you to kind of fly your jetpack indefinitely. So there's all sorts of crazy stuff that you guys are going to be doing, and we can't wait to see that. So let me just show you this Vidoc real quick. One last look at Forge World, and I'll be back in a sec.
The first time I looked at Forge World, and I was like, oh, hey, cool, oh, holy, you guys did what?
There's just way too much. You can't keep it all in your head at once.
It was so beyond our production capability. We were just like, that's crazy. We can't do that. I couldn't stop the artist who started creating it.
Forge is our editing tool that players can build their own maps. I mean, at its core, it's a map editor. We always had this vision right from the get-go, which is anyone can build anything.
Giving the fans the tools, they can take it and run with it and make it their own.
Forge World actually started as 5 separate maps.
And I said, wouldn't it be cool if, like, you could play this and go over there, and then play over there if you wanted? And Forge World was born.
There were a lot of people telling us that, no, you cannot ship this as one big map.
We have this awesome new automatically generated LOD system called impostering that makes objects that are really far away really cheap to draw.
We're pushing what we can do with the Forge budget, so that lets us have many more objects up on the screen at once, which lets us put more objects into Forge.
Just need to take the Banshee or Falcon out for a spin in Forge World, because it actually takes a while to get from one end to the other.
The second you come into the space, you should know that you're on Halo.
Our old friend, the Forerunners, come back, because the Forerunners create all sorts of cool, interesting pieces of geometry.
We wanted to give people a variety of locations that they could forge in a different way. So a gulch, an island, an interior, a very small outdoor pocket, and then the rock, which was kind of based off Ascension.
Let's use a lot of interesting parts in it so that people can manipulate it or we can change it. Why don't we bring back Blood Gulch and carve it all up into pieces so that people can start manipulating it in interesting ways. And then Sanctuary was the other one. The Cage and Paradiso, that's just Chad and I playing with the map editor and actually building cool maps within Forge World. I mean, we were doing that exactly how the fans would do that.
We definitely looked at what we did in Halo 3 and said, what can we learn from this? It's one thing to build just a stunning amount of map variants, but like nobody was expecting Forge art, I don't think. Like that was just a completely, whoa, what?
The Rube Goldberg machines, yeah, those are everywhere.
In Halo 3, it was cool that you could move things around, but it was still kind of clunky.
And we're like, we have to make this better.
What are some of the tricks that the community is using, and how can we make those not be tricks and just make those be tools?
We took that stuff and made it like a real feature. There's normal, phased, and fixed. So normal is like Halo 3 style, it bumps into stuff when you let it go and it falls to the ground and moves around and stuff. And fixed is the same thing, except when you let it go, it stays exactly where it was. And then phased is the coolest, because it means that while you're editing the object, it's not actually interacting with the environment. You can put it through a wall, you can put it, through other objects.
Which changed everything for Forge, like immediately.
It's much easier to build a forge space. There's snaps and rotates and degrees and units that you can move things. You can be very precise.
The camera controls, it's actually really good for object placement because like little touches on the stick don't translate into really sudden jumpy movements. And then we also have a fine editing mode. You click the stick in and then your camera starts moving very slowly.
You're not spending like 3 hours trying to get one block to line up directly to 3 other blocks.
You can select individual objects and say, get rid of all the objects of this type. So if you're trying to get rid of all the spawn points on a map because you want to go and replace all the spawn points, you can do that.
You can do custom colors. You can take these forge pieces and say, hey, that's blue. So the blue base can truly look like the blue base.
Reach's expanded sandbox includes new things like, jetpacks, and if people want to build some sort of 3D map and really make use of the jetpack, they can do that now.
Custom game options and Forge go together like peanut butter and jelly. You're able to do things with game types that people might not even expect. My favorite example is King of the Hill, where the warthog is the hill.
I'm super excited to see what people do with it when it goes out, because there's so much crazy stuff in there that's amazing.
We are shipping maps on the disc that we made in Forge ourselves. So the tools are there. If you have the time and the talent, you can make it.
The community is just going to outstrip us and spank us.
With the new tagging system, you can save a Forge variant, you can post it to your file share, and then you can say, sweet new map.
Things that are good are downloaded by a lot of people and passed around to a lot of people, and that makes the really sweet stuff bubble up to the top. I'm looking forward to what the next big community game type is going to be.
We realized that Reach was our swan song to Halo, and what better way to do that than to let people do what we've been doing all along, which is creating new cool maps.
It's nice to go out with a bang, and this is a pretty big one.
All right. You're welcome. So just the last thing we want to touch on really quickly, in case you don't know, Reach will be out really soon, September 14th. And if you weren't aware, we have a couple different flavors of the game available. Unfortunately, I don't have them here today to show you, but just want to tell you that the limited edition that we've built, if you haven't been following, everything in the whole Reach product line has been co-designed by Bungie and the Microsoft designers. Everything's grounded in the fiction of Reach. Everything from the packaging to the materials, there's a fictional relation to everything, and you'll actually find some of these objects in the game world themselves. And I think the art's stunning, the packaging's stunning. Inside the limited edition, there's a really awesome bonus that you'll get. It's Dr. Halsey's personal journal that you would find sort of in the rubble of Reach. Imagine Dr. Halsey, of course, being the creator of the Spartan program, sort of the UNSC's brightest mind, getting a chance to go in and sort of see her inner secrets and research notes. There's just going to be a wealth of awesome information and new fiction in there for fans. So I can't say enough how sweet that is. And then, of course, we got the Legendary Edition, which we might have something for you guys to see, maybe on the floor at a later point. But you'll get the full limited inside. You're also going to get a really sweet statue. It's about a 10-inch statue. It's about this high. It was done by some of the artisans at McFarlane. It's a really, really awesome collectible item. So that's another bonus. And of course, both those also include special in-game offers. So Limited is going to give you a special elite armor permutation that's only available through that SKU. So for example, playing versus Firefight like we did today, you would be able to activate that elite armor. And then Legendary, you'll get that, and you're also going to get the ability to turn your head on fire like only Bungie could do in Halo 3. So, but you probably already knew all that. But, I think everybody thought the ultimate Halo game, the ultimate SKU selection, the ultimate bonus items obviously needs the ultimate console to play it on. So today, Lars, if you could help us out here, let's bring it over here. We actually are happy to announce for the first time the world exclusive reveal of the Halo Reach limited edition Xbox 360 console. This is based on the brand new hardware, the Xbox Slim, as a lot of people have dubbed it. It's awesome. It's been fully designed. It's got a matte silver finish. It's got the markings. This is really meant to be sort of like if you were to find an Oni piece of hardware sort of left behind in Sword Base, for example, this is what that would look like. Lars, you can keep unboxing it. So you'll get the console. It also comes with 2 matching wireless controllers, which are also pretty awesome. Show it, wait for it. And we're actually, I believe, starting tomorrow, not only can you play versus Firefight in the Xbox booth, but we're going to have these controllers will be hooked up if you want to look at them closely. And I believe they're actually going to be sold separately as well. there's also a pretty cool matching wireless headset that you could get as well. And I don't know if we didn't mention this, but it actually includes a copy of the game too. So if you're on the fence still, there's never been an easier or better time to step up. And we're really happy with how the box turned out. It's pretty awesome and special, and I believe they're available at pre-order for retailers now. So remember that, you guys ever watch like Oprah's Favorite Things, you know, like whenever, well, we're not doing that, sorry. But we're actually doing something pretty close. So I think we actually have a special guest here today, I've been led to believe. It's Kat. This is actually one of the suits of armor that's been created for a really cool live-action spot that'll be on TV a little bit closer to launch. But one exciting thing that we have to say today is I believe we've already have a lucky fan in the audience who was identified earlier by the Waypoint team. I think you were given a Noble 7 action figure, perhaps. That's basically your ticket to come on up here on stage, and we have a little surprise for you. So come on up. What was your name? Vince? All right. Well, it turns out that Vince was in the right place at the right time and is the ultimate Halo fan today. And as a result of that, Vince is going to receive a shiny new Reach limited edition Xbox 360 console. So, all right. Congratulations, dude. So the Waypoint team's actually going to be here all week, and they're going to give away one console for every member of Noble Team. So today we're giving away the Cat console to Vince here. Tomorrow at the Xbox booth, there will be another console awarded to the fan that shows up in the best costume or just somehow exhibits the most insane amount of Halo fanaticism. So that might be you. You have a chance to win that tomorrow. Saturday at the tour booth during the Todd McFarlane signing, which is at 10:30, they'll be giving away a console there. That'll be our June console. At some point, also on Saturday, all day through the show floor, there'll be another console awarded, which we're dubbing George. And then at the Masquerade Ball on Saturday, there'll be a console awarded to the best Halo cosplayer. And then Sunday, at the Halo Universe panel with Frank O'Connor and friends, another console will be awarded as well. So everybody has a chance to get yourself one of these sweet consoles. And I think with that, we have a little bit of time left. So there's a microphone up front, and I think we'll open the floor to some questions, and we will try and answer those as best we can. Thanks again for coming out today, too.